So, I apologize if I talk super fast in this. Um, my neighbors are having some work done on their house right now, and I kind of wanted to get the video out, but if you follow my Instagram, I said I wasn't going to do it. But, it's kind of quiet across the street, so I figured, why not get this going? So today we're going to talk about The Little Mermaid, and I hope you accept this apology. I'm trying to pull up the Google Doc that I used. So just real quick, clearly I am not the target demographic for The Little Mermaid. I tried to get my niece to watch it, and I put it on. She would not watch it with me. She wouldn't watch it one bit. I don't know what it is. I thought little girls and little kids were supposed to love these princess movies, but it is what it is, I guess. There we go. So for the first time, we have a returning group of directors for something that's not a sequel. So obviously, if you follow my Instagram, I did the Terminator movies as like my first big franchise in the wake of Terminator Dark Fate being released on the Blu-ray. And James Cameron was back for the first one and the second one. So I don't really count that as a returning director. Yeah, you're returning to do your sequel to your movie. These guys return from, Hercules. So we covered Hercules a few weeks ago. It's Ron Clements and John Musker. Yes, The Little Mermaid came first. I understand that, but for our purposes, they're returning for this. The movie was released in 1989 as part of the very first movie in the Disney Renaissance. It kicked it off, not with a bang though. A lot of people say that this is like the greatest Disney movie ever. I don't personally agree with that. Again, I am not the target audience for this movie, so if you think it's the best movie on the face of the planet, I do understand why you think that. It is still good. It stars Jodie Benson as Ariel, Pat Carroll as Ursula, Buddy Hackett as Scuttle, Samuel E. Wright as Sebastian, Christopher Daniel Barnes as Prince Eric. I am not going to bother trying to pronounce this very French name because I will destroy it. Jason Marin as Flounder, Kenneth Mars as King Triton, and Eddie McClurg, who was last seen on our Instagram as Grace in Ferris Bueller, one of the greatest 80s comedies out there. She plays... apparently I didn't even write down who she plays. I picture the person that she plays in the movie. Hold on a second. I want to say it was one of Prince Eric's cleaners, but I don't want to say the wrong thing. Not used to not using my phone. There we are. Carlotta. So she's one of Prince Eric's maids on the boat. There's a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think that's earned mostly. And off of a budget of $40 million, it made $223 million back in 1989. So again, while I'm not the target demographic for this movie, I still think it's probably one of the best movies Disney's ever made. But it has problems, in my opinion. Number one, I think its weakest link, in my opinion, now don't get mad, it's Ariel. She's just kind of there. When your villain is better than your hero, and then you've got Prince Eric, whose just only purpose is to marry Ariel and Ursula to kind of start that fight. It's not even really a big fight, but that's another issue with these Disney princess movies, is that they set up for this big battle and then it never happens because we don't want to watch the princess get her hands dirty. That all changes in a few days when we look at Beauty and the Beast, in my opinion, but again, just my opinion. But Ursula is still one of the greatest villains. In fact, I have, and I was going to set it up, but I didn't have the time because I'm trying to do this as fast as possible before the noise begins. I have a little Lego minifigure version of her that came out in the first Disney collectible minifigure series. So I'll just, you're not going to be able to see it, so I'll put it over here. But there is a true hero of the movie, and that is Sebastian the Crab. Probably one of my favorite characters. He has one of the best songs in Under the Sea. He goes out of his way after going to King Triton, being like, oh, yo, bro, your daughter's talking to a human. He goes out of his way after screwing up Ariel's life to try and fix it and get him to, tries to get Prince Eric to kiss the girl. Another one of Sebastian's great songs. I really actually enjoyed the music in this. But again, the ending fight highlights the movie's biggest issue is that the final act doesn't really feel like it has much weight to it. My girlfriend and I were watching this, and she said that was not really a good movie. And I get it, but for our purposes here, we're more... Yeah, I'm giving my opinion on each movie that I talk about, but in my grading process, it's more of, here's what the movie does well. Here's how it did at the box office. Here's how your acting is. Here's how your action is. That's kind of my whole grading process and what goes on in my head. I have a little list somewhere in my drawer here of just things that I wrote down when I first started this, of making sure that I do. I've kind of strayed away a little bit from it as time has gone on, just because I'm getting more better. I'm not more better, that's not proper English, but I'm getting better at this. But time will tell how far we go. Ursula goes down with a fight, just not the biggest fight. And it's certainly not as good as some we're going to see later this week, like Beast and Gaston, or Aladdin and Jafar. Or personally, Simba and Scar. Probably one of my favorite fights. But yeah, she goes down kind of with a fight, kind of without a fight. And personally, I couldn't really remember who was in the fight. I lost focus during the movie's last act. But I really... The first act is okay. The middle act is really where I lost focus. And then that last act is where I was like, it's good, but it's not. With stuff like that in mind, this movie is a 7 out of 10. It's still good. And if you have younger daughters, you should watch it with them. There's a lot to enjoy, but when your anthropomorphic hero is an animal, and he's more of a compelling character than your lead, well, you're going to lose points. So tonight on Instagram, tomorrow on YouTube, we're going to look at The Lion King, one of my favorite Disney movies. You can pick this up at Best Buy or Walmart or Target for the Blu-rays are like $24.99. Not a bad deal. I don't remember why I bought this. I think this was long before Disney Plus, or maybe just before Disney Plus came out. So I was like, well, might as well get it. It's there. I haven't seen it. So I bought it for somebody, actually. Come to think of it. Now that person no longer... Nah, we don't talk to that person. So, now I have it. And I don't care. If I had to really sit down and think about the Disney princess movies versus Disney movies, and I don't count Aladdin in that because the whole movie is more about Aladdin. This is more about a Disney princess. It's probably number 2, in my opinion. So, I'm mentally prepared to talk about the Clone Wars in its entirety, and by its entirety, I mean Season 7. So, you can look forward to that in, I don't know, an hour. I know two videos a day is kind of pointless and insane, but I have nothing else to do. Right now, I'm building Von Ragg's TIE Fighter from Star Wars Resistance, which Season 2 is now on Disney Plus, and I have to say, Star Wars Resistance kind of shocks me. The first season was not that great. The second season's pretty cool. So, just an idea for you. So, go check out The Little Mermaid on Disney Plus or home media if you have it. And until we talk about the Clone Wars, I'm Luke, and I will see you later.